and all praise unto Yahweh double honors unto the apostles of great millstone. And honest brothers that be pushing this truth in sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth. I'm gonna give this video a little bit of a catchy title, but the purpose of this video is to get into a little bit about the utensils and the containers and pretty much the stuff that we use to eat. Now we know from the scriptures, if we go to the precept right here, the book of Ezekiel, the 4th chapter on the 14th verse and the 13th verse, and the Lord said, even thus shall the children of Israel eat their bread defiled amongst the heathen whither I have driven them. And you might think to yourself, how does that relate to utensils, containers, and pretty much the stuff that we eat? Well, let's go a little bit backwards and start with the food itself. Now we know, pursuant to the book of Isaiah, the 24th chapter, the earth is defiled underneath the rulers, and that be the red Hebrew Edomite Esau. And as a direct consequence of that, you know, we haven't got no sovereignty, so therefore we haven't got no control over our food. And in having no control over our food, we don't know where this food is sacrificed to. We don't know what's actually in the meat. Like you're buying steak or lamb or whatever lawful meat that you might have, or vegetables with the G to the M to the O. And it's just messed up, man. Okay, it's got all kind of crazy chemicals and all kind of crazy additive to it. And you be looking at your kids and observing your kids, and they act weird after you eat. They eat particular foods. Like I've observed I've observed children go crazy after they eat that yellow sugar or that gray sugar, Skittles and all of them kind of foods like that. You start acting bugged up because a lot of the chemicals in that are designed to not make you function properly. Bunch of these kids that be eating all kinds of sweets and bugged up food at school. That's the reason why they don't have attention span, because when you actually look at the side effects of some of these foods, attention span, fatigue are listed as some of the negative side effects. Right, but we're here to deal with this brass chalice. Now, if you got the funding and you got the money and you got the opportunity, gold would be better. Right, that's gonna be better. That's going to be a better option, and silver will be a slightly lesser option, but still a good option as well. Okay, because the utensils too that we use have an impact on the food that we eat. I'll give you an example. When you buy tomatoes in a can, you can actually taste the metallic taste to those tomatoes. Another example that comes to mind is when you fry those tomatoes, because tomatoes are a very good example of with tomatoes, you can really taste where they're coming from and what's been added to them. Especially if it's like fresh tomatoes, you can taste them. If you're into Italian cooking and Italian food, then, a tomato tells a story. So if you fry tomatoes in a cast iron skillet, you can taste the iron within the tomatoes. Or copper skillet, sometimes you can taste the skillet. And sometimes if you put the tomatoes inside of a container that was used before for a curry or whatever, you can taste that within the tomato. So tomatoes tends to be a good example of how chemicals in containers and utensils can bleed in to the into the food that we eat, right? And if you can help it, kind of want to stay away from the tinned goods if you can help it. But we ain't got the liberty of an unlimited budget right now, so we just do what we got to do at the minute to survive. And when your Howard Shai comes, we're going to get rid of these bodies anyway. We're going to get rid of these bodies. So back to this copper and zinc chalice. And I say it like that on purpose because when you go into metallurgy, you find out that brass is a product of copper, which is useful to the body in certain amounts, and zinc, which is useful to the body in certain amounts, which leads us nicely into the benefits. So I gave you the catchy title, which is gonna be, I just bought this chalice. I just bought this chalice on Amazon. I'll give you the picture to it. But there's a real kind of a deep thing I'm trying to say here, right? Where you have the opportunity and where you have the resources, you gotta be careful of how you contain and how you manage your food, right? The utensils that you use. If you can afford it, you get something that's of a better quality. And there's a reason why it costs a lot more. And there's a reason why you go into them big expensive restaurants, they use particular utensils, because the utensils affect the way the food not only tastes, but also to the impact that it has on your body, as we're going to see over here. Now, in most cases, you could just use an enamel. An enamel tends to be inert, especially if you get a decent quality enamel. So you get cast iron with enamel or stainless steel. That's what I would say is a bottom entry point to clean eating, quote unquote. So a good enamel cast iron skillet out here within the UK, you're talking about 50 to 70 pound. But if you really want to get the upper end one, really you're paying for the brand. You try to stay away from the Chinese stuff, because Chinese stuff is not very good. They use all kind of different chemicals for the coloring in that. And where you can, you use stainless steel, but if you can improve it, stainless steel ain't gonna impact anything. Stainless steel is just gonna be stainless steel. It's not gonna do anything, right? But if you want to get some more health benefits, not just being inert, which means basically it doesn't have any impact. But if you wanted to put additives in there, then yeah, you could use the silver. The silver, if you get a silver, what's known as a chalice, which is just what I just showed you off of Amazon, you get the silver chalice. The silver is gonna somewhat bleed in very, very low amounts into the glass, but that's gonna have a healthy impact on your body. That's gonna be a impactful benefit that has a measurable difference over an extended period of time. And this is the battle that we fight out here within this kingdom. It's a war of attrition. Attrition is a very interesting word. It's an impact over a long period of time. So like a death by 1,000 cuts, if you can understand. And this is why we manage the small stuff as well as the big stuff here, starting first and foremost with the Apostles of Great Millstone. So take a look at this article right here. This is called Benefits of Eating Food in Brass Utensils. And again, like I said, there was a reason why I I gave it a catchy title, but there's a real thing I'm trying to push out there through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema. So brass is a yellow colored alloy made from, like I said earlier ago, from science class, they tell you brass is copper and zinc. And when we go into, I've got a multivitamin here. Let me see if it actually has copper and zinc in there. I didn't plan this bit out, but just out of curiosity, let's see if you do have those metals in there. Okay, just out of curiosity. Okay, it doesn't have it on it. But when you go on the back of foods, they tell you how much zinc content is on there, how much copper content is on there. Okay? And it tells you brass is 70. We don't need to go into the science class. All you need to know is if you get good quality brass, or even better silver, even better gold, and we're gonna be drinking out them gold cups when your Howard Shai returns. And there's a reason for that. Okay? Zinc is found in abundance in brass. Zinc is a mineral that aids in the development of immunity. Again, like I said, death by 1,000 cuts. So you got the plastic bottles, and we try to drink out the plastic bottles. When you get the water, but even that's terrible because they got all kind of BPE in there, and that has a very detrimental impact towards your well-being, especially your testosterone. So in the ancient world, they used different types of utensils. The earthen vessels were inert. The ceramics is inert. That's what I mentioned earlier ago. Enamel is just ceramics. Okay, so you get a piece of cast iron, you put the ceramic on it, the ceramic coating, you call it enamel. Okay, so we use earthen pitchers because the earthen pitchers were inert. They didn't impact the contained food or drink or whatever it was. Okay, prevents worm disease, promotes weight loss, keeps the body cool, prevents infections, sharpens memory. So far, zinc has been shown to be extremely beneficial to human health. But there is one more amazing thing about zinc that you'll be surprised to learn about brass utensils. Zinc is also known to help the brain's memory. Okay, so you drink and you eat out of it. Again, you're gonna get it in very, 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 very small amounts. But again, it's gonna keep you healthy. And this is what I would call passive health. Like the saying goes, you make food your medicine, and medicine your food. And it's like you don't even have to think about these particular things. They're just running in the background. It's what you know as a passive approach to your health, but it's gonna have massive impacts. Freshness and durability is preserved. Excellent strength and durability. Brass is very strong metal, copper, zinc, two different metals combined to make a solid utensil. Brass's strength and hardens. Okay, impressive. As a utensil, it's a very. Oh, okay. So this is talking about the longevity of the material itself. So, like you get a plastic cup or whatever, or glass. You know, you could drop glass all the time; it's gonna break. But glass is good because it's inert. You get normal glass. That's good. But if you want to make an impact, get good quality. And the key thing here to remember is the quality. A lot of the stuff that we be buying on Amazon and shit like that, it's not very good quality. You don't really know what you're getting. Okay, so these are the little gems that you can get from just small changes, man. You know, there's big impacts that you can get, but these are not impacts you're gonna feel tomorrow. And this is the thing about the war of attrition. All right, the war of attrition is not like, you know, you take a boost pill today and tomorrow you feel amazing. It's like it takes time, man. Same thing with sugar intake. You think you're just gonna cut off sugar today and you're gonna lose weight tomorrow? No, it takes time, right? And the same thing with our health. We gotta take our health into into consideration when within everything that we do, right? The things that we, not only just the things that we put into our bodies in terms of food, but also too the things that we put into our minds. Because a lot of stuff that we be watching is kind of bugged out, but we pray, right? If it be entertaining, we can watch it and you ain't gonna go crazy off of the back of it. But you gotta watch what you watch. You gotta watch what you spend you put your time towards, right? What you make your effort. That's why the scripture says, let your eye be single. You're constantly and persistently focused on the truth. How can you fall off? Okay? So, Yahbashim Ashai right as that self-edification. With that, I'm going to say, all praise unto Yahbashim Ashai. Bashim Kwa Kodash. Double honors unto the apostles of the great millstone. And Yahbashim Ashai right as I'll see you on the next video. Shalom.